Welcome to Off the Roster, brought to you by our founding partner, Proline. Betting on Proline is now easier than ever with their new app. Download it today and make things interesting. I'm Lindsay Dunn, alongside Dan Riccio in our temporary studio for Off the Roster. Our guy, Cabbie, he is back.
Let's go.
What's up, Cab?
Let's go. Hello.
How do you
Good
say
morning.
hello in Italian?
You could say ciao.
But I thought that was goodbye. So
Ciao can be used both ways.
Ciao, Cabbie.
Yeah.
I've learned that. Yes. Ciao. Buonasera.
Yeah.
Buongiorno. Buonanotte. If our pod was at like 10 p.m. 10 p.m. But ciao is, yes, it is a greeting and it is a goodbye. So, ciao.
Ciao. Excited to have you back with us. We've missed you, buddy. We're going to hear about your Olympic experience. We're going to hear from David Popkins, the hitting guru from the Toronto Maple Leafs. We also, or not the Maple Leafs, Blue Jays. I don't want to talk about the Maple Leafs, to be honest, today, but we will be talking about that.
At some point.
Canadian hoops legend Jamaal Magloire also joining us, and we have huge Blue Jays news. But before we get to that, Cabbie, we want to know what life was like in Italy.
It was a very cool, unique experience, especially being in the mountains. So I was in Livigno, and I don't think I shared this story with you, but on the night that I was leaving Livigno to go to Milano to spend 1,800 euros on a bleeping hockey ticket to watch Canada lose 2-1 and I paid 1,800 euros to watch Connor Hellebuck have the game of his life. And that's, Stony
So 1,800 euros?
Bro. It was,
and you know what? Of the money.
I got swindled.
That's like 7,000 Canadian.
I know, bro. I got swindled too because I'm on this app. They don't have Ticketmaster there. They don't have Game Time. They don't have StubHub, SeatGeek. It was called like Tiacomo or something like that. So I'm zooming into the map to I'm in section B, and I think I'm buying a ticket for 1,800. When the ticket gets delivered to my email 30 minutes later, so I actually get there in the second period, just before the second period starts. My ticket's in section C. I was like, I had no recourse. I was like, I'm sitting, and in the section, I'm in C. I'm in like the upper deck, and I'm sitting next to this American dude named Connor, who's from Boston, and some other Canadians. He's like, do you buy There's four of us. You bought tickets from the same guy. I'm like, yeah, but I thought I was buying tickets in the first level. He goes, me too. But he called me. I'm like, the guy called you? He's like, yeah, he called me. Seemed nice. I'm like, no, not seemed nice. We got swindled, bro. We thought we were buying tickets in section B. And we're in section C. So anyway, okay. So other than that, on the day that I was going to Milano from Livigno, so I'm in the mountains. It is a 4-hour journey to Milano. The town is so small, and there's only they say 3 roads in and out. There was one. There was an accident and an avalanche that happened within 30 minutes. So we were stuck in Livigno, and I was trying to leave at 5 o'clock local to get to Milano by, 10 o'clock or whatever. I ended up leaving at midnight. Sorry, it was accident and an avalanche once they cleared the snow. Then there was another accident. So anyway, other than that, the experience was very good. It felt very much like I was at the Olympics. There were 7 sports that took place in this small area versus Milano, Cortina. There are a couple other venues that I can't remember the names, but there were 6 Olympic venues, and they're all spread out. I heard that in the French, in 2030, in the French Alps, the curling, speed skating, hockey, and figure skating will all be much closer. So for the people, I think it's going to be in Nice. They will have a better Olympic experience because the venues will all be close by. But in the mountains, it was pretty cool. It snowed a ton. It felt like the Winter Games. Some of the events were delayed, or the practice runs were delayed. On the last day, the Saturday, this skier named Reese Howden, who's from Squamish, BC, he competed in a snow globe in ski cross, where the goal is speed. You're skiing against 3 other competitors down this track, and it was so sticky that and this guy came in like he won like, I think his last 7 races, he'd won 4 of 7. He had a couple silvers. He was the guy coming in with the heat, and homie didn't make it out of the qualifiers. My dude was heated. So
yeah, he was
the elements absolutely affected some of the performers, and some of them like Mikhail Kingsbury, who's like our mogul's god. It didn't seem to bother him at all. He got a gold and a silver. And salute to Megan Oldham. I got some pictures. I have a photo wearing Megan Oldham's medals. Bronze and a gold, and they're like, I want to say like 3 or 4 pounds. Like they're considerably they're weighty. So she let me rock those.
You got some hardware there, Cab.
I wish. Oh, also, I know we were speaking of Brad Jacobs before. I think in like January, one of his teammates, Mark Kennedy, the dude who like cursed out the Swedish skip, he's like, no, bleep you. He was on my flight home. And he just proudly, just like, hey, you wanna see it? I was like, oh man, that was you. Like I've seen you on my phone on the internet, but like seeing you in real life. He goes, yeah, that was me. Like it was like a badge of honor, him bleeping off like another curler, which was like one of the few controversies at the Olympic Games. But it was very cool. It was a unique experience for sure. I wish that obviously it ended in a gold medal for Canada, either in women's hockey or men's hockey. And to spend 1,800 euros to watch Connor Hellebuck stone Connor McDavid and Macklin Celebrini and Jack Hughes score the friggin' winner. It was devastating. I mean, we all saw it. It was devastating.
1,800 euros in this economy, man.
Yeah,
Woo.
that was $25 billion Cabbie spent to sit in Section C, and I feel the pain for you.
And watch Nathan McKinnon miss the most wide open net possible.
And
something Nate ever does.
I don't want to relive this moment. I do not
I'm so
want to
sorry.
relive it.
I'm so
but
sorry.
We're so happy you're
and
here.
Connor McDavid missing a breakaway, and Macklin Celebrini missing a breakaway.
Turn his mic off. Turn his mic off.
Wait, Dan.
I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. Is this going to be our new Game 6 and Game 7? Andy friggin' Paez making the catch of his life. And then
pretty much.
Addison Barger gets doubled off.
They better win the 2028 World Cup. That's all I'm saying.
I'm hoping for a 2026 Toronto Blue Jays World Series win because you know what? There's some sadness that happened. There were some signings that didn't happen. I just want to play everyone a clip from the last time the media heard from Max Scherzer in kind of a scrum context. This was after Game 7. Here's what he had to say.
I think I'll give a full answer on that later, but I will say this. I just don't see how that's the last pitch I've ever thrown.
He's back, baby!
Mad Max is back.
He is back. Good morning to everyone. No, I will not calm down. You calm down. You calm down. Because it is a reported $3 million deal with incentives that could be $10 million. This is a huge moment. Mad Max was a big part of that clubhouse. People loved him. The team loved him. And before I get your guys' take, I had little doubt that he was not going to re-sign with the Toronto Blue Jays because this was the vibes that he was bringing all season long that a lot of people didn't see. And it kind of shows how much there was camaraderie in the clubhouse and how much the team loved each other. This was Mad Max to me and Ernie, unprovoked, after they clinched the division.
Man, I came to this team and I found all these guys. We came together, and this is one of my bucket ones here. I kept telling you here, this is a team. This is a team. This is what we got. It's a clubhouse first, and he's one of these guys that does it every single day. Wow, has this been fun?
I'll tell you what, I told him if you win the World Series, are you coming back? And he said, yeah, I'd love to. And I said, are you an idiot? Just be done. Ride off into the sunset.
Well, hopefully he can ride off into the sunset after they win the World Series this year. I am so happy Scherzer is back. That is a great price point, and I understand, yes, he's getting paid by like 8 other teams right now, so he's not missing that dollars, but
he's swindling like 17 Major League Baseball owners. They're like, Max Scherzer is the reason we need a salary cap. That's
but that energy, he's beloved. And like, fun fact, Ernie Clement's profile picture on Instagram is from that interview. So I'm just going to pat myself on the back.
I was going to say, bold call not wearing the poncho in there.
Well, can I tell you why? You look like an idiot, I think. We'll get into your guys' response. You go in,
Are you saying I look like an idiot? Oh,
yeah,
no.
you do. Not you, sorry.
Okay, yes, okay.
For the media
Now I
that
get
go
it.
in, half the players are tarps off, and they're just having a drunk time. And then if I come in, I'm already dressed usually a little bit fancier than some people. Fancier. I don't know why I said it like that. But they have ponchos in. I'm not in the freaking rainforest. Ruin my outfit. I don't care. I'm going to look like a drunk poodle. And the year before, the 2 seasons before, when Chappie and all them were there and Kiermaier, they picked on me so bad that like my makeup was down my face. I'm like, I'm not here to look glamorous, but I'm not wearing a rain poncho where you guys are all celebrating wearing goggles to protect your eyes. So I'm anti-poncho. I also passed out once after the Rough Riders won the Grey Cup.
That's a very Saskatchewan.
So I got overheated wearing a poncho covering it, and because it gets so hot. Like I actually, after that interview when we left, my camera guy at the time, Ricardo, I ripped the poncho off of him because he was overheating because of just how hot it gets. But anyway, no one wants to hear about that. We want to hear about Scherzer, your reaction. I am so pumped. I know the rotation is deep, but come on.
I mean, it's hard not to love it, right? Everything Mad Max brought to the team last year. And I think it's more not just from what he brings on the mound now as a guy in his early 40s, but for a team that needed a little bit of that maturity, needed some of, that experience that Mad Max brings to a squad, that intensity that Mad Max brings to a squad. I think it's good to get it back, especially after you lost Chris Bassett. So all of those things check a ton of boxes for me with this Jays team going into a very big season. And yeah, there's some questions about how the rotation is going to work out and where Scherzer eventually pitches in this rotation, but these things usually figure themselves out. I guess the one downside is, do guys get disgruntled if they're not getting starts? We already know Eric Lauer's talked about this, but he is like banished to the bullpen because they've got about 8 arms right now ready to start games for them. It's going to be interesting to see how they work it all out.
I suppose it's an embarrassment of riches to have like such a pitching staff so deep, but I'm out on Max Scherzer coming back to Toronto.
Whoa.
Bro had a 5 ERA and a 1.3 whip. You don't think we could get that from like a younger arm? And also, I know that Lindsay has like intel from inside the clubhouse because she's very close to players and people talk to her. But like, is Scherzer a mentor of any regard? I think it was we had Varlin was like, wasn't he afraid of Max Scherzer? I think we had Varlin on the pod like a month ago. I'm out on it. I just think it's like I know veteran presences are important, and having leaders and having a guy who's won 2 or 3, at least 3 Cy Youngs and won a World Series with the Washington Nationals. But like his production we can get from other players and guys that we have a wonderful farm system, and we just have some young dudes. I know Savage will be on an innings limit because of some of his off-season work, but I don't know that Scherzer's the answer. I suppose it's kind of like a nice story, but I'm out on the dude's 42. He's gonna be 42 in July. Like,
Biebs
him and
delayed.
Verlander, I know are first ballot Hall of Famers, and they've been able to be effective at times in their 40s, but not for me. I hope he has a great season, but I'm out on Max.
You also have Bieber, who will be a little bit delayed. I know his recovery is going a little bit better, so he could fill in some moments there. But Garrett Temple, I know, what is he doing? He is a mentor in that. And while Varland jokingly said that, hey, Scherzer he was scared of, he is a huge mentor in that clubhouse. He is another addition, an extended moment of the bench boss. And yeah, like, hey, you could have brought him back as a coach. But I think $3 million for the experience and hopefully some great moments on the mound that we saw in the playoffs from Scherzer is what you want to see again. So I'm positive people are also on Cabbie's side, but right now, the chat for the most part and us in studio, Cabbie, are not with you, but that is a proper take. The thing is, and that's the great part of the show, and I think a lot of people do agree with Cabbie on that, and we will continue the Blue Jays discussion because there is a former Toronto Blue Jays pitcher who made a really bizarre comment that I need to calm down before we even discuss it. Wow. That's how heated it actually has me, but No, that's interesting points from everyone all around. It's an interesting moment. Some people quite happy with that signing, and others like Cabbie, and he's not alone in this, not too happy. But we will have Jamaal Magloire, a Canadian basketball icon, on in about 15 minutes. So I want to get to Leafs chat before we get there. Because
do we have to?
We don't have to, but I kind of just want to get it out of the way. And we know that Jamal, Big Cat, he will bring the vibes back up. Just doing amazing things as always in the community. But the Leafs in Tampa yesterday, were they going to come back and win the game? Probably not. Were they playing the same sport? I am not sure. Before I get your guys' reaction, let's hear from Matthew Nyes about the loss and the Buds being back on the ice.
We just can't let that happen. I think our execution's got to be better, a little bit more desperate, and I think that would change the outcome.
You were short and sweet.
I mean, these guys are lying to themselves. It's just like, I know that like there's a level of, we're always going to keep trying to the end, and that's the way professional athletes think. But I'm watching this. It's like, okay, they had the 3-game win streak at the end of the pre-Olympic break, right? And it was like renewed hope. Maybe they've turned a corner. Maybe they can carry some of that momentum after the break and make a push for the playoffs. And what do we see coming straight out of it? Oh, back to their old ways. This team, a win over Calgary, a win over Vancouver, a win over the Edmonton Oilers, who were playing in bubble wrap because nobody wanted to get hurt before the Olympics. Like, that doesn't matter, and it just showed last night when you go up against probably the best team in the Eastern Conference. They do not have the horses to keep up with them. They could talk all they want about we're working on defense, we're tightening up during the break. What did they tighten up? They had 49 shot attempts through 40 minutes last night. They didn't tighten up anything. The only reason that game was still anywhere close to within reach is because of Anthony Stolarz. They were so far the second best team on the ice last night that it's not even a conversation. I mean, it's just frustrating that people keep, and mostly within the organization, seem to think that there's some glimmer of hope that they can hang on to. This team has shown us over and over what they are this season, and it's not good enough. It's time to recalibrate.
Well, they're also, as you said, Dan, they're going up against the best team in the Eastern Conference. I think Tampa's won 6 in a row. There was a stat that popped up during the broadcast that Tampa is, now 27, 4-1 when they score first. That is overwhelming. And Vasilevsky was incredible. There were a couple of moments. I know for most of Leaf Nation, the season is over, but there were a couple of moments or a couple of players that had some pop. Like William Nylander had some pop. He scored 2 goals in the Olympics against Latvia and Italy, I believe. And then he had a couple of assists tonight. He had that one grade A breakaway chance in. Simon Benoit, sends him in against Vasilevsky, who makes an incredible toe save. But there were I don't know, Nylander. I feel like he can not unlock, but I think he can play better, and he can he still has some magic, a little bit magic. I love that little hezzy on the pass to Tavares. This dude is still a great playmaker, and Matthew Nyes is, I'm gonna say, our Boston's Morgan Geekie. He's, first year the big deal or second year the big, when he gets to Morgan Geekie's level, and I don't think he's going to see this, but Morgan Geekie just exploded out of nowhere. That's what we want for Nyes. And maybe it doesn't happen this season, but even Matthew Nyes, who in 11 career games against Tampa, this dude has scored 11 times. Who knew? So this guy can play against the best can play well against some of the best teams in the NHL. But I know overall this season, it's there's a rain cloud, a giant cumulus cloud over us, just pouring down misery or raining down misery on the fan base. But I'm still looking for moments and plays that bring me a little bit of joy. And Nylander's couple of assists brought me some joy. And Matthew Nyes, who scored, it's it's going to be tough. I know they play Florida tonight and they play Ottawa on Sunday. The rest of the schedule post-Olympics is relentless, and we likely don't see the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs, but I'm gonna watch for small, little fist bumps, nice work, mother bleeper. I'm still going to be rooting for Nick Robertson and Lawrence and like the bottom 6 guys. But you're right. Overall, and I know you guys have been talking about this during over the past few days. Like it's what did you say, Dan? You said this like in December, like it's getting late early. What was the line you said?
It's getting late early.
And that was in friggin' December.
To say I told you so, but I told you so.
I know. I'm still holding on for some glimmers of hope, man. But I mean, Tampa Bay is just in playoff form, where their counterparts in Florida, these guys are like, we're still going to party at like. Are one of the Kachucks still at 11 tonight? Right now,
I think so. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese is still at 11, or he's at the elbow room. One of the two.
100% the elbow room. 100% the elbow room. I made the comment to Dan beforehand. I'm like, do you think he's at the elbow room right now? We'll see what happens tonight. And I said, like, if they lose these couple games, which clearly are important, I hate the whole measuring stick term. We threw that out there this week. That my belief meter would be down to a 2. And yes, much like Cabbie, I'll be watching for some moments from the players. You're hoping that they have great seasons, but tonight, if they lose, my belief meter will be gone tomorrow. I will be holding that white flag being like, it is over. But there was a really unique moment that happened yesterday for some Leafs fans when they got an email from Keith Pelley.
So the MLSE president sent out a letter to season ticket holders kind of outlining where the team is headed. And I'll read from the letter to give some context here. We understand this team's strengths as well as the areas we need to address. And we know that with the support of our fans, we will achieve the ultimate goal together. While we always strive to be as open as possible, I know that you understand in the world of professional sports, protecting competitive advantages is paramount and limits our ability to reveal team strategy until the appropriate time. What?
Oh my God!
That's
Do not talk that talk.
End quote. What?
Stop.
What are we hiding from fans? Like every fan is on the same page. This team needs to be sellers at the deadline. We need to retool. We need to try and set up Austin Matthews' final 2 years of his contract to best position this team to get back to being a contender again. You can't do that when you got a bunch of pennies in the cupboards trying to go out and add things to the roster in the offseason. You need to trade some players, and you need to get some assets that can help this team in the future. It has never been more obvious what this team needs to do in the next week. What are you waiting for? There is nothing left to see to decide what this team is. They're not good enough to compete with the top of the Eastern Conference. Last night was once again evidence of that. There is nothing left to reveal. There is no magical bean that they are going to eat during a team dinner that is going to fix all of the issues that this team has. They need to trade some players, get some first round picks, and get some futures to help this team in the future, because right now the future is bleak as it currently stands, and that needs to be fixed because the present, it is what it is. You have to deal with the new reality. This season didn't go as the way you wanted, and now you need to deal with your new reality. Please get on the same page.
Say talk that talk, Cabbie. We missed it.
Fans in Boston were feeling like Toronto fans. So fans in Boston last season were feeling like Toronto fans this season. And then they've had this miraculous turnaround in a year. Like the retool was successful for the Bruins. And I wonder, I mean, we're obviously not at 50 Bay Street to listen in on meetings and hear what the front office or the management, what their plan is. But apparently there is a plan. And if they're sellers, they're sellers. And if they're not, then if they're going to re-sign some UFAs, then I guess we see when it happens. But I look at Boston just like it was miraculous, like a 1-year turnaround. Could that happen for Toronto? And here's the thing, and I think Sid said this with Nick yesterday, Sid Sixero, like, and Lindsay and I, well, all three of us know from working at Rogers, proper, or through Sportsnet and Sportsnet and Rogers, like the Maple Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Toronto Blue Jays are the two economic drivers for that business, for Rogers Sports and Media. So and Keith Pelley has a mandate, and he's the he runs the business operation of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like they can't really afford to tank because the NHL is a gate-driven league, And also, Rodgers just signed that, I don't know, $9 or $10 billion extension with the NHL to be the national rights partner. And the Toronto Maple Leafs being a great product on the ice helps that business. So I don't know if there's going to be a teardown. Obviously, there'll be some modifications, but that team can't be bad for long. It's not like the mid-teens when, we lose to Boston but Toronto loses to Boston in Game 7 in that 13, in 2013, and then Toronto's like terrible for 3 or 4 years. They get Austin Matthews and things start to turn around, but I don't think that the Leafs can afford to do that again. I don't know.
9 straight years of making the playoffs, and that's pretty good. And you've been buyers, and they've been buyers for a reason the last 9 years because it made sense. Right now, it doesn't make sense to do that. It makes sense to sell off. It doesn't even make sense to stand pat for this team because, all due respect to the players I'm about to mention, they aren't going to drastically change the Leafs' fortunes over the year, whether they're still here or they're on another team. Bobby McMahon, Scott Lawton, these types of players, they've been here on the team and the team's not good enough. That's not, that's just the reality. That is the facts that they are dealing with. And if they can get you and recoup you some assets to help you turn this thing around in one summer, one off season, then you need to go out there and do that. There shouldn't be a debate anymore. This team is too far out of the playoffs to deny their current position with 24 games left to play.
Well, speaking of the trade deadline, it's one of the most exciting days on the hockey calendar. Teams are setting up their rosters for a playoff push, freeing up I've said CRAP both times instead of cap space. And adding future assets. Join the DFO crew on Friday, March 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern for the Daily Face-Off Trade Deadline Special. Obviously, a lot of storylines there, what will happen throughout the NHL. And I just want to give my one take from that email that was sent out that whatever he is on, I would like to try it. I've never tried anything, but it's like, what? You are so out to lunch on this moment that I don't even know what to think about.
I mean, that to me, if you're a fan reading that,
I went like this.
If you're a fan reading that, it kind of scares you, right? Because you're like, are they not seeing the same thing that I'm seeing as a fan watching this team? Do they not see how bleak it's gotten here this year? The defense needs to be retooled, and a lot of this falls on Brad Treliving. He's made some moves. They let Marner go last year, and that was what it was. And everything they tried to do to replace Mitch Marner in the aggregate, getting Dakota Joshua, who's been hurt most of the year, unfortunately. Matthias Michelli's had some hot and some cold stints. Everything they did to try and replace Mitch Marner in the aggregate has not worked, and that falls on the general manager. And it's a reminder of how hard it is to replace star talent in this league, even if, for a lot of people, two things can be true at the same time in this case. It was the time that the Leafs needed to move on from Mitch Marner, but two, they haven't been able to replace Mitch Marner and what he brought to this roster.
I agree. One quick thing. I would say in Keith Pelley, and I don't know this person, I don't know this man, like in his meager defense, like you kind of have to show that there's like some confidence in your product because what was it? October, November, like the Leafs have been perennial. They've sold out that building for years. And there were reports where like the building was not sold out. And again, the NHL is a gate-driven league. So I don't know if an ownership group can say we're doing a full teardown, we're doing a full rebuild. Like we saw the Raptors, I think in Masai's
the Rangers have done it how many times now, Cab? Like, they send a letter out every few years. Hey, we're retooling again. So it's, I get what you're saying. Like there is a business part of this that has to be kept in mind. And that's where Keith Pelley's head is at in the grand scheme. But I don't think Leaf fans are going anywhere if you tell them, we need to retool and we need to rethink how this thing gets back to where it needs to be.
But okay, but if I'm sorry, Lindsay, but if there's a retool and a rebuild, then the fans' expectations like we're not going to pay $600 to sit in the the 300 level or whatever ticket prices cost. Like ticket prices only go up, but if the product sucks or the product is not what doesn't live up to the fans' expectation, people aren't going to go to that building. So you're going to be losing money. And yes, obviously in a rebuild, you lose money. I mean, look at the friggin' Pittsburgh Pirates who've been rebuilding since, Andrew McCutchen won a National League MVP in, 2013 or 2014, or the Tampa Bay Rays or whatnot. So I understand why he would present as such, like, hey, we have an exciting product, and blah, blah. They just can't admit that, yes, the team needs at least a retool and likely a rebuild.
It'll be interesting, like I mentioned. No, don't be sorry. I'm taking this all in. Because like Keith Pelley, it has been interesting what he's done so far with MLSE. You know, a lot of the president's roles have been kind of meshed together with the GM roles and the vision that he's bringing. There's change. I'm not upset about it. I'm kind of excited to see what he's doing because it's a lot different than what was happened before. They got rid of a lot of what you could say was extra roles around MLSE that didn't necessarily need to be there. So I am not upset about that email. It just, the timing of it was different. It was just like, it's just something I didn't want to see. I also don't want to face reality. We all know that. I still live in a land where I believe that the Leafs are going to make the playoffs. And I know I'm very few. Don't go at me in the chat right now. We will have more Leafs talk in a moment, but we need to welcome someone to the show who is a Canadian hoops legend. He is a Scarborough native. He's an all-around great guy that I miss hearing yell work around the what I was going to say ballpark, but I guess I would have to go with stadium. It's Jamaal Magloire. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Big Cat.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Yes. No, we're so happy to have you here tonight. And this evening, your charity is hosting this signature fundraising event, Hollywood Glamour, at the historic Casa Loma, where proceeds will go towards the Jamaal Magloire Foundation. Can you talk about the event tonight and just the continued amazing work that your foundation has done in the community?
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity of coming on here. Cabbie, good to see you. It's been a while. Great introduction. You said it all. I think for me, it's important to give back to this community that's given so much to me. I'm having a night of Hollywood glamour tonight at Casa Loma in the Castle. And I just encourage everybody, we're not sold out. We're continuing to take donations online for our silent auction, and also have tables with spaces left. It's tonight. It's at Casa Loma. We start at 7:00, and all the proceeds, like you did say, is going towards the Jamaal Magloire Foundation. We provide mentorship for kids in the GTA area. I also have bursaries in different arts, whether it's culinary, business, entrepreneurship. We just continue to try and give young people a chance to aspire. And through my experiences in the NBA as both a player, a coach, and now in the front office, I think there's so much information I have that I didn't before, and continuing to learn that I could help kids with. And I've been going to schools for the last couple of days, and they've been very, very, very receptive to the message that I'm bringing. And I just want to continue that, but it needs everybody's help. It needs everybody's resources, whether it's their time, their energy coming out tonight. We just need to rally everybody together to make sure that we're on the same page and we're giving back to this community, because if we don't invest in them now, we're going to have a lot more complications and difficulties and challenges moving forward. So help me out, help the foundation out, and let's have a good time tonight in the Castle at a night of Hollywood glamour.
Love that, and love hearing that. The future generation, right? They're going to take us all into the future, and it's great to see you continuing to give back with the foundation. I got to get your take though, Jamaal. We saw Wemby last night at Scotiabank Arena, and my God, the guy is just unbelievable. And even in an off night offensively, he still makes a big shot in the fourth quarter. At times, he's like still impossible to play offense against. When you watch Victor Wembanyama, what do you see?
I see a lot more room for improvement as he matures as a basketball player, as his IQ gets better. He starts to become a man in his body. He's still very young. More weights, the way sports science works today in the NBA, I think his ceiling is going to be astronomical. He has such an impact on the game defensively with his length, his IQ, as I mentioned before, that whether he's having a good offensive game or not, his impact is in so many other different ways that they could win on any given night with or without him. It's just the confidence that they have and the swag that they have now. They won, I guess, 9 or 10 straight games, and they realize that they're a serious contender. So I think he has a great impact on this game, and it's good to see him evolve.
How would you defend against Victor Wembanyama? I mean, like, it almost
you know what I
seems
would
impossible.
do? I would, for me, at least when the shot goes up, I think I would face guard him. I mean, there's no way that I could out jump him. We had the same challenges when I was playing against Yao Ming. I mean, I could jump to my peak and still he never even got off the floor and I would not be anywhere near his shot. So I think for Victor Wemby, you got to definitely do your work early. You got to try and force him as far out as you can. And when that shot goes up, it's not your responsibility to get the rebound anymore. It's your responsibility for not letting him get the rebound. And if I have to turn and face him and make sure that I could see where he's going and box him out the unorthodox way, which is turning all the way around face to face, I think I'd leave it up to my teammates to go and get the rebound, and that's probably the best shot we would have.
Yeah, we should have snagged that rebound late. There was BI
at the free throw line. That's right.
Yeah,
at the free throw line, and then was it Vassell grabbed and then
he grabbed his own shot.
Jamaal, and we've known each other for a long time, but I remember actually asked you this question. Mardi Gras was a week ago in New Orleans. When you played for the New Orleans Hornets, did the team just give you a box of beads just to go enjoy the week or so of New Orleans and all the things that the Mardi Gras brings to New Orleans?
Cabbie, I always got to rely on you to ask me these questions, but I will give you the answer. It's pretty ironic. You're right on. I played for the New Orleans Hornets during the time of Mardi Gras a couple of times and was able to be on a float during the parade, and they did actually give us a box of beads to throw out into the crowd during the parade. So when you ask me that, yeah, I've experienced it. It's a little bit slow for me. It's more of a marching band experience than the vibrancy and the elegance of something like Trinidad Carnival, where people are all having fun, but it's carnival nonetheless, celebrating the beginning of Lent, and it was a great experience.
My follow-up is, where are those old phones that you used to have? Because there could be some footage on those old phones that someone like me would enjoy looking at, from specifically from those Mardi Gras floats.
I concur. I got to look for it myself. I think you got my mind going. I'm going to go home and see if I can't find one or two old Sony cameras that I used to have.
Send them
with
my
the
way.
SD card.
Yes, dude. Yes.
And
The
see
same
what I
one
can find.
that Kevin Garnett and Shaq had at the All-Star, the Slam Dunk contest at Vince in Oakland. Those joints, yeah. Okay.
Those were
last
small.
question.
Those were small tapes.
Yes, that's right. The mini HD. What were they? Mini 8s or something like that. I can't remember what
That's
the
right.
format's called. Mini DVs, I think they were called.
We're telling our age, guys.
I know. Oh, last thing, because you mentioned Carnival in Trinidad, and you have do you still have the Revelers float, like that collection of musicians that plays at Caravana and maybe some other? Do you still have that squad?
I do. I'm very heavily involved in the community, as you know, and being a part of Toronto Carnival is no different for me. I'm going into my 20th year anniversary. I started in 2006 in the Caribbean Carnival, and it's a big year for us. It is called the Toronto Revelers, and I encourage everybody, whether you're involved in Carnival or not, get used to one of the many gems that we have. That we celebrate our culture, different ethnicities, family, friends. Get involved with the Toronto Revelers because it's an experience. You get to learn the art. You get to learn why we even have Carnival. You know, it goes back to the days of emancipation, where this was our way of speaking free and celebrating among each other. And I think as you get to know my culture and the way I grew up throughout my parents and a lot of people here in Toronto, you will have the time of your life. So Toronto Revelers is something I do in my off time as well, but it's definitely a way of uniting different people from all different walks of the world enjoying music, culture, and having a good time.
You, sir, are an amazing person. We appreciate your time today. And since 2017, the Jamaal Magloire Foundation has been impacting so many underserved youth throughout the community. We thank you for everything you've done. For more information on the Hollywood Glamour Signature Fundraising Gala tonight, go to the JamaalMagloireFoundation.com. But for old time's sake, before you go, can you just say work one time for me?
Work!
Yes! Jamaal Magloire, thanks, bud. Have a great time tonight. Go check out his foundation.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Stay well.
Great to see you, man.
Thank you.
I miss hearing that at the arena before the games where he'd be working with the guys, but he's doing so many amazing things in the community. He's also involved with the Scarborough Shooting Stars, and you'll see him at a lot of Raptors games and different fundraisers. He's just doing such amazing things. But he actually crashed one of my lives once. I was doing a live hit courtside, and I was just talking about what was happening at the game, and I did not know he was behind me, and he kept doing this for the whole live. It went like a little bit viral because I just had no idea he was there, and then he shared it on his social. He is so full of energy, a great human. But when we talk about energy, guys, I do want to just talk about the Raptors game last night before we hop over to some more Blue Jays news. On a back-to-back.
Another loss against a good team.
Another loss against a good team, but it was in such a painful way. I love basketball. I bleed basketball. I moved here to cover basketball. But I hate the final couple minutes when it's just foul, free throws, and the final couple minutes takes 75 hours. But it was entertaining yesterday because, friendly reminder, kids, practice your free throws. And, hey, game-winning three-pointers, those are fun to practice. But here's what Jakob Poeltl had to say after the game.
I mean, I think overall we're doing a good job, but there's definitely room for improvement. I think, I don't know, sometimes we almost get in our own way because we're so used to, like, when we're playing fast, when we're getting these steals, like the offense comes free. But then when we get into half court and we let other teams be physical with us, we don't play with the same intensity that we do on defense on offense. So I think that's definitely one of those areas that we got to improve on. Just keep adding to our arsenal on offense. Like, I think we have a couple of things figured out pretty well, but then when teams start taking that away, like, what's like the next thing that we can go to, or when we play against different matchups, like, how can we exploit different defenses in different ways?
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad
at that.
Yeah. So a little bit of introspection from Poeltl there. You know, he's getting back to the line. He actually played. He was one of the better Raptors last night, really, and that's a positive sign. Maybe the biggest positive sign out of last night's game. But yeah, it's hard to hide from the reality. They're now 4-15 against teams that are in the top 10 of the NBA, and it felt like they were doing really well last night. And then the fourth quarter comes around, and it's the same script we've seen far too often, Cab.
True. And the Raptors didn't they didn't help themselves at all, missing every single 3-point shot that they including Brandon Ingram's at the end there. One thing about the free throws, though, were there just like a section of baddies behind behind that one basket? Like, these guys were 4 for 10 in the fourth quarter from the free throw line. Like, these are bunnies, these are gimmies, and maybe guys were tired, but I was just like, what's going on? Like, what's going on behind the basket that we can't see on the broadcast? But you're right. Like, if they can bottle the third quarter magic, which they've shown many times throughout the season, and apply that to the fourth quarter, and Toronto has had some dramatic fourth quarter comebacks. Charlotte is the first one that comes to mind, although Charlotte is not on the same caliber as San Antonio. It would be great. And what Jakob Poeltl was alluding to is, like, don't be one-dimensional. We find that in crunch time, we just kind of, swing the ball to BI and let BI cook. But for Poeltl, who's a great pick-and-roll player and rim runner, like, maybe try to activate him. Dude was plus 18 yesterday with 3 blocks. And he mentioned defensive intensity. Yes, like, I got to salute what Coach Darko Rajakovic did to help to neutralize Victor Wembanyama. Bro was... what was he, 3 for 12 in the game, and he had 6 points through 3 quarters. That's sending Colin Murray-Boyles and Mamukelashvili to get him out of his rhythm and have him not be comfortable. Obviously, as Dan said, or I think in the group chat, no, it's Dan said at the beginning of the show, Wemby, who's 7'5", hits this fadeaway three from the corner. Like, you're not going to stop that. Yeah. It's like, it's Joel Embiid, but like 6 inches taller, 5-6 inches taller. So I got to salute. The third quarter was great. 32-21, they outscore. They outscored San Antonio. IQ hits a nice three. Shed hits a three. Shed hits another three. But then that offense sputters in the fourth. I keep saying wait. Sorry. Toronto was outscored by 15 points in the fourth. That's a glaring problem for this team against top 5, top 10 teams in the NBA. And San Antonio is absolutely a championship contending team this year. Like, these guys are amazing. I want to say they're 7-1 or 8-1 against top 5 teams in the NBA. So these mother bleepers are coming, and Wemby's era might start earlier than we think.
It already started.
Yeah, it's
already started.
It might, Lance. Yeah,
guys, like,
I think it's here.
He's getting asked last night. What did the Raptors do to like slow you down here tonight? Offensive, he's like, nothing really. I just didn't get good sleep last night. I didn't sleep well.
That is a real quote that happened from Wemby after the game. He did not sleep well last night. And we quickly look at his stat line. He played 29 minutes, was 3 of 12, 1 of 6 from beyond the arc, 5 of 6 free throws made, and had 8 rebounds, 5 block shots, finishing at plus 19, which is the highest plus minus on their team for not getting enough Z's.
He wasn't sleepy on the defensive side of the court, so I guess
definitely not.
Unfortunately for the Raptors, he was only sleepy on one side. But it's hard right now for this team because we're waiting for them or looking for them to take a step and see some progress. Because they've shown progress literally everywhere else, right? Like, there's nowhere left for them to show that they're taking that next step. It's just these games come around against higher teams, better teams in the NBA, and they keep falling short. They had a 10-point lead going into the fourth. I was kind of surprised. Darko, Scotty Barnes and B.I. not starting the fourth quarter.
Yes.
It was... I think part of it was Scotty nursing that Charlie horse or whatever he got the other night against OKC, and BI doesn't usually start the fourth quarter. So Darko talked about it post game, but it's just, sometimes you don't have the options to match up with your opponent, and that's where the Raptors are still falling short and where they need to take that next step. But it doesn't paint a pretty picture for the playoffs. Now I know James Harden hurt his thumb last night, so maybe there's some hope if they do line up against the Cavs there in the first round. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of what the Raptors are. And I think at this point, I'm not expecting them to take that step. It's going to be something that they progress as they still continue through their rebuild.
And one quick note, I would just love to, and I know the three of us would love to see just some consistency from downtown. Like, I think Toronto shot something like 47% from beyond the arc against OKC, and then last night it was like 34%. Just like, guys, can we just string together a few games where we're 12 plus, 14 plus? Because whenever we play Boston shoots 1,000 3-pointers, or like these contenders in the or Orlando, these contenders in the East. It would be nice, fingers crossed, if we can get some consistency beyond the arc, because that's such a dangerous shot. And some teams live by the three, they die by the three. We're dying by the three.
100% dying by the three.
Because we can't live by the three.
Yeah. 8 of 23 from beyond the arc.
Exactly,
yesterday.
Linz. Exactly.
34.8% from three. And we see a lot of teams. It's also not fun to watch the game when you're seeing brick after brick after brick.
Well, it's in the fourth quarter, pulling, just pulling up and taking a three. I quickly did it a couple of times and you miss, and it's just like possession going back the other way so quickly. And you've got to hit some of those shots. But this is the ongoing process of a rebuilding team, I guess.
Just a quick minute look yesterday. G-Temp did not play. Trace Jackson-Davis logged in 0.1 second. 0.1 second, and then that
for that defensive
for the
free throws
he got a rebound.
Which is great.
Yeah, he got it. Like, what a great stat for when you're in for a second. You get a rebound. Like, what if you're in for like a whole minute? But Grady Dick, he was DNP, so he did not play. For me, we've heard this since the beginning of our show, which will celebrate its 2-3 month anniversary in a couple days. Congrats to us. But you see Grady's confidence when he is playing and then when he is not playing. The leash seems to be quite short with him. And I do not think him not playing at all is going to help with this. And it's just the storyline surrounding him is something I've talked about the last couple of months. I'm curious to see where it's going, where that development is going to continue to build, because he was a nice draft pick when you look at where he's actually selected for the Toronto Raptors, and where that story is right now is slightly discouraging. I'm not obviously giving up on him. I just can tell you, when a player is not playing, you're told you have to sit on the bench, that is not going to help his confidence. But
didn't have a sophomore slump, but he's having a third year slump.
He got a fresh haircut though. So I'm not going to make fun of his Karen haircut. Yeah. But what I will bring up is some other Raptors news, just for everyone. Jontay Porter, if you remember, played with the Raptors for a brief moment and was surrounded in controversy. Like I said, I'll never forget. I was his first interview when he was brought to Toronto, because he first played for the 905 before going with the Raptors. And I was there when all of us found out that he was allegedly involved in some betting scandal, watching all the players get taken off the court. Well, it's being reported by Brian Windhorst of ESPN, who Porter, by the way, if you do not know, is banned for life from the NBA for gambling in 2024 and currently awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty to related federal charges, planning to play for an upstart pro basketball league. Where, you may ask? In the United States.
Yeah, it's called CEBL.
Yeah, if they let him in, no, that's of course the Canadian Elite Basketball League. But the United States Basketball League announced that they've signed Porter, and they're scheduled to begin their season on March 7th. So he, if you don't remember, he pleaded guilty in federal court to one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, a felony that carries up to 20 years in prison. He's expected to get about 3 to 4 years. Yet this mofo still getting another chance to play hoops. You're telling me there's not one other player? It brings headline to this league no one knew about. But WTF are we doing?
Now we know there's a new basketball league starting up, so.
I'm sorry.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Just the stupidity of this.
Yeah, it's
what are we doing?
It's a bit of a head scratcher, I'm not going to lie.
We can also probably not say allegedly anymore and be like, no, this guy absolutely gambled.
I'm so scared I'm going to get sued.
He's been kicked out of the association. This dude's on federally indicted, waiting sentencing. I think something's happened.
Okay,
I think we can say
this is so stupid. And when we talk about stupidity, Alek Manoah. I'm sorry to be so aggressive when I say that.
No, that's a great segue.
Yeah.
That's a great segue.
Former Toronto Blue Jay, now with the Angels this season, had an interview with The Athletic in which he appeared to take a little bit of credit for the Toronto Blue Jays World Series run. I'm sorry,
what?
Yeah. Direct quote from this article. I was a very big piece of that process, getting to that World Series run. I wasn't able to be there like I wanted to. Those are all my friends. A lot of those guys I called my brothers. I rooted for them 100%. I wanted them to win it all. Rewind. I was a very big piece of that process getting to the World Series. The gentleman that did not pitch one pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays last season and had not pitched since spring of 2024. What are you smoking? Are you kidding me? But I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, because when you read a quote, I don't know if he was smiling, if he was joking.
Yeah. Is this one of those where it reads differently than it sounded, maybe?
Because reading it, you sound like an absolute jack ass. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So when you hear this, when you read this for the first time, again, I know I'm a nerd and I should stop being in La La Land trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. Even if he's joking, you were not part of that process at all.
I would love to be in Dunedin right now, maybe ask some guys away from the cameras what they think about this Alek Manoah quote, because it's an interesting one. I mean, to say I was a big part of that process, bro, you didn't pitch an inning last year for that squad. And hey, I know you were teammates with some of those guys through your Blue Jays career in the organization, but I don't know. This one's a tough sell on me, man. Knowing how Manoah's career kind of went and where it went off the rails a little bit, that's surprising to hear. I'll say that.
We definitely are missing some context, and it would be great if this quote came from a video and we could all see the video, but it was likely just a reporter speaking to the player one-on-one. As far as the process goes, I wonder, how far back, is he positioning himself with Bo and Vladdy, like part of that young core that was going to, I don't know what Shapiro or Ross Atkins said, if they had a whiteboard, this is our 3-year plan, this is our 5-year plan. And Alek Manoah was part of that. 22, he was unbelievable. I think he got some Cy Young votes or was in Cy Young conversation. That was the greatest season of his career. So I wonder if in his mind he's still oh, bro, yeah, 22. I was part of the rebirth of the Toronto Blue Jays and filling that building, and we were exciting. I don't remember how many wins Toronto had in 22, but I like Lindsay trying to give Manoah some grace, some benefit of the doubt if maybe that's where his mind's at, but we don't know because we don't have any context, and there isn't
we'll
more
get it,
to
don't
that
you
quote.
worry.
And what's that?
We'll get it. Don't you worry.
We will get it. We will get it. We will get it.
It's also this is also a guy that didn't want to go down. It's and you were struggling. It was hard to keep pitching. The Jays they tried to keep making it work for as long as possible while he was struggling in the majors. But it's I don't know. It's a tough one to hear. I guess we'll see how things unfold. And I still wish him the best of luck in Anaheim as he tries to rebuild his career.
A couple things
and maybe And maybe Lindsay is smoking some of that good out there in Cali, some of that Cali Kush that's just
takes you to another planet, clearly. The fans that I spoke to a couple former Toronto Blue Jays and just a couple that are still there, just their thoughts reading that quote. I'll let you know. It's going over about as well as me trying to cook for anybody. My record, 10 out of 10, giving people food poisoning. So, yeah, it's not going over well. I'm a terrible cook, but we will talk.
In real life?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm
so
great
that's
at
the real
ordering
reason you serve
chips,
pizza pockets.
Pizza pockets. Oh, I love those. Those also make
Cheetos.
people sick. Oh, I miss them. I'm so hungry. Didn't have any for breakfast yet.
The
but
hot dogs wrapped in croissants. Those things. What are those called?
Oh, deliciousness.
Yeah.
Someone that is not taking credit for the World Series run is David Popkins, who was named the American League Baseball Coach of the Year.
Did a lot more than Manoah did.
So I had a chance to have a real quick catch up with him when I was down in Florida, just about him winning that award and some fun storylines surrounding it. Here's a brief look at my quick conversation with Pop. We are here in the dugout in Dunedin, Florida, where I think it might be 47,000 degrees. I love the heat, but baseball is back. For you, what does a typical day look like on a game day?
Yeah, you're just kind of going to the yard, you're getting, we have some early meetings, guys are getting warmed up. We head to the cage, get them warmed up, and then we hop on over here. They do their defensive work. We hop in the cage before BP, and then they hit BP, and then we're kind of getting ready for the game right after that. Yep. So it's pretty similar to the season, just everything's a little more condensed and quicker.
Second season with the team. Do you remember your mindset when you came into the Jays last year and that feeling of joining a new franchise?
Yeah, it's exciting, whenever you're joining something new and seeing if you can, reinvigorate some things and try to bring some new things and see if the guys will receive it. And it's been incredible, and I'm even more excited this year after having some relationships with the guys and seeing what they can do and having some new guys that also can contribute as well.
I've spoken to Springer, I've spoken to Varsho. They all say how you really help them with their at-bats. And even, the mental game some of the other players are talking about. When you see them have those big moments on the biggest stage in baseball, how does that make you feel?
I'm just elated for them. They all work really hard. They're all very talented, and they're so skilled. So to see them have success it always feels good. It's like seeing your best friend or a family member having success. You're just so happy for them because they've earned it. They really work hard.
Where were you when you found out that you were Baseball America's Coach of the Year?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I was. I think someone might have tipped me off, but I might have been in Hawaii. I'm not sure, but yeah, I went on a vacation to Hawaii. Yeah, so it might have been when that happened. So that was very nice. But that's all credit to our guys and our players, really, honestly. So we have really good players that worked really hard, and that award's honestly them.
So humble, I know, but so many people, especially Jays fans, saying, you're MVP of this season. They're loving everything you're doing with this. I know you're very humble. You won't even want to respond to that. But when you see a player like Okamoto, everyone's looking at his swing. What do you see in it and the damage that he could do?
Yeah, it's a very flowy swing that has a lot of damage and a lot of adjustability. It's fun to see, and see him slowly get his timing. And the key right now is really not to be perfect. It's just to get his feet wet and get used to the pace of play here and take some intentful swings. And then from there, we'll keep building it. But he's just getting warmed up, and I can't wait to see him as he continues to show his personality and get warmed up to us.
What did he say, like very manly or something?
Yeah.
Was it translate from that? It's such a good group of people here. When we are here and talk about what fans' perceptions are of this or whatever it may be, how many people were calling you in the off season trying to get some pointers or tips from you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything, as people just wonder what you're doing and stuff. So you just have conversations and you share as much as you can. You try to keep some things obviously to yourself, but overall you're just trying to grow the game and help people as much as you can. And obviously some trade secrets you kind of keep tight to your vest, but other stuff, with helping guys, you want to try to do your best to spread the information because it usually comes back to you.
I know this isn't a trade secret, but I'm hoping you don't keep the cards close to your vest. When it comes to the playlist, they were saying you were in charge. So I heard at the training facility, what sounded like some sexy Kenny G to Rolling Stones to Morgan Wallen. Are you in charge of every playlist that is there, or just BP?
Yeah, I'm just BP. The other playlist is a mix of the guys and our shrink staff and our train staff. So I think they did a great job picking those because those playlists are awesome. And then BP, I'll either ask some of the guys or I'll throw something on if no one picks anything. But yeah, no, the vibes are electric at the practice field, and we have fun out there.
Take me through the vibes for BP playlist. What are some of the songs you'll go to for the guys if they're not picking?
It's usually like house EDM or the song The Days, and they like that one when I play it. But anything that's upbeat that makes guys want to dance and move a little bit is something I'm always looking forward putting on.
He is a legend now in Blue Jays land. Yes, Cabbie?
Legend for those glasses. Those are the swaggiest,
vibiest
glasses that we've ever seen. With the light blue tint.
Yeah.
We got to get those.
It's almost like it's got some Bret Hart vibes to it, the Hitman. It's not pink, it's blue, but it fits the Blue Jays vibe, right? In that way.
Yeah, it does.
I love that you guys brought that up because I told him the whole time I was talking to you, all I could see was my giant reflection in your glasses. So next time I am interviewing him, I actually told him I'm going to wear these glasses to interview you so you can see what it's like. He is so nice. He's so humble. You can see everyone around him loves him. Like Springer, Varsho, everyone was bringing him up that was with him last season. Schneider, Clement, they all are such a big fan of him, and I'm excited to see what his relationship with Kaz will be. And before that, we were talking about Scherzer. I just wanted to make sure we got the Popkins interview in because we've been talking about the last couple of days. We kind of mentioned this earlier. His daughters did write, one of his daughters wrote a really sweet letter.
She did.
And his wife recently shared it on social media. And it says, this was dated December 15th. I am so sorry that you didn't win the World Series. I hope that you win the next time. I hope my dad is back on the team. My whole family loves spending time in Toronto with our dad. We love the, I'm going to say stadium, and then a whole bunch of other words that I can't really read.
CN Tower and Aquarium.
Yeah,
I think
thank
is
you.
What it is.
Yeah, I am looking forward to coming back next season. Love, Max Scherzer's daughter. Adorable, sweet. She got her wish.
If your heart is not melting right now, you got a heart of stone.
I do have a heart of stone. I really enjoyed that letter, though, and that's one of the things where you see how Ernie and them went on the trip after.
Yeah.
How he said, I really believed that Max was going to come back to the Toronto Blue Jays. It was just them trying to work out a number. When you have his entire family, including his wife, loving their time in Toronto, if you're saying that happy wife, happy life isn't a real thing, well, you're out to lunch. She loved it here. Kids loved it here. And then you saw them all go on that little vacation with a pitching staff for her birthday.
Pitching staff and Ernie Clement.
And pitching staff and Ernie Clement went on that vacation to celebrate her birthday. I'm like, that just added fuel to the fire for me. I was like, this is the number one choice for him to come back.
Yeah.
Whether or not you like his $3 million coaching deal, Cabbie. But a cute letter from his daughter.
Numbers. The salary is one thing, but the numbers, the production.
Yeah, there were some Scherzer starts in September that were like, whew. Like that start against the Royals where he couldn't get out of the first inning, or there was that one against the Yankees too that he got. It was like, man, everything is a hit right now. This is, but in the playoffs, he was able to grind out a couple of decent starts. So we'll give him that.
You know what I hope hits, guys? Your ProLine pick of the day. Let's go. The new ProLine app is here. Betting online with ProLine Plus and betting in store with ProLine are both easier than ever with the new ProLine app. The new ProLine app has more sports, more leagues, and more markets than ever. Now with more ways to same game parlay your favorite sports, including baseball. I know I should let Cabbie go first because he just returned, but I'm looking at you and we made eye contact, so you can go first.
All right, I will go first. And we're going back to the Maple Leafs well tonight as they've got the Florida Panthers on tap. First game back from the break for the Panthers, but I'm sticking with a Leaf. I liked what William Nylander showed last night. I think he had 4 shots on net. Ended up with a breakaway that he could not convert. Playing like he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder after the way things ended for Sweden in the Olympics. So a William Nylander anytime goal is my play for tonight.
I love that pick. And these are for entertainment purposes only, folks.
There we go.
Cole Caulfield against the New York Islanders. He hasn't scored in about a month, but he scored in 3 of his last 4 games at home. And this is purely gut feel, just that post-Olympic bump, because he was left off Team USA. We saw Dylan Guenther last night score a couple goals. He wasn't on an Olympic roster, which he will be in 2030, I think, for Canada. Anyway, Cole Caulfield. And listen, they're playing Ilya Sorokin and the New York Islanders, which is no easy feat, but just on gut feel alone, for entertainment purposes only, Cole Caulfield, anytime goal tonight for the Montreal Canadiens.
Let's go. Let's get some
Can't wait
ducks.
to see what we have. Big Dow, we're all back together. The gang's all here. I'm pretty happy. Hope everybody's happy. Thank you for joining us right now on Off the Roster. Make sure to like and subscribe and join in the chat live on YouTube underneath the Nation Network. Tomorrow we have a fantastic show, including Canadian, I'm going to say retired baseball player, now coach, Mike Saunders. Great conversation there. But can you promote our hockey guest? Because you just say his name.
Well, we'll be a week out from the trade deadline, and so our insider here at Daily Faceoff and the Nation Network, David Pagnotta. Pagnotta.
That's what I wanted. Pagnotta. Ciao, arrivederci. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Ci vediamo. Ci vediamo.
Whatever you said. Pizza.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Off the Roster content, make sure to like and hype this video and subscribe to the Nation Network YouTube channel.